Hey guys, Cohen here, and look, I'm going to share three things with you. I'm going to jump right into this because I got a lot that I want to share with you, and I don't want to keep you here a long time. This is going to be a very short but powerful presentation. I'm going to give you three things that's going to help you to get clear with digital publishing. It's going to help you to start. We released a survey recently, and one of the number one reasons why people were not successful with digital publishing is simply because they don't know where to start. So I'm going to show you how to start. I'm going to show you where to get started. I'm going to show you how to find the time, and I'm going to show you how to increase the chances that you're successful with this. All right. So let's jump into this. So step by step, digital publishing for busy people, right? Like if you think about it nowadays, everyone's busy. We've got families, we've got significance, we've got other obligations. We might have our 9 to 5. We might have 2 jobs or 3 jobs. And then we want to do this digital publishing thing. Maybe we want to write, maybe we want to create an online business. And it becomes this like, how do I even find the time to have time to myself, to have time to everything else, have time to my family, have time to my other obligations, and have time to write, and have time to go in and create this online digital publishing business, right? So that's what I'm going to share with you today. So how to find time, right? How to get started, and the most impactful first steps to take when you get started. And I think that this is something that a lot of people miss, even if you're in some of our programs, even though we make it really clear, but I think some people, they come in and they kind of miss this. All right. So we'll jump into this right away. So the first thing is, I want to ask you a question. And look, let's be really transparent here. Have you ever felt like life's chaos, right? All the stuff that life throws at us kind of gets in the way, right? Have you ever thought that like maybe this stuff, like I've got, and I just can't put it on hold, right? But it gets in the way of you fully realizing like your digital publishing business or getting it up and running, or maybe it causes you to start and stop every once in a while. Let's be totally honest. We're not gonna. There's no judgment here, right? And I'm not gonna call out any names on this presentation, right? So I'm gonna be straightforward in the presentation, no calling out any names or anything like that. But let me know. So I see some people saying yes, yeah, yes, right? Right. So now, like, take a look at the different pictures that I have here. Which one of these can you identify with? Right? Maybe you're trying to get started, you're trying to write, you're trying to create your business, and there's just a bunch of things that are going on in the background, and maybe not literally in the background, but yes, right? You as soon as you wake up in the morning, you've got to go. Right? Maybe during the day when you think you have some time, then you're a little bit depleted of your energy, right? Maybe you're tired, and maybe it's like, I'll put this off to the next day, right? Um, but look, today my goal is to really break down Kindle publishing into just small bites so that it's really achievable, so that you get the momentum, right? And so that you can finally get started, even if you have this super hectic, busy schedule. So that's where we're going to go today. All right. So if you don't know me, my name is Cohen. Who here has never been on presentation with me? All right. Put first, one ST in the chat box. As you see, I've got first here. If this is your first time, but then if this is your second or third or fourth or fifth time or 100th time with me, many of you guys have been on presentations with me, a ton of times. Let me know. All right. So I see a lot of people saying lots of times. A few people saying first, not too many. All right. Which is good. Well, look, many of you guys have been on trainings, right, with me, and events with me. Some of you have been at live events with me. So you get to know, like, and trust me, because I always give you the best of the best information. And this will be no different. As a matter of fact, Yahoo Finance, this is a couple of years ago, named me one of the top entrepreneurs that you need to follow this summer, right? And I'm going to give you some things that work not only for me, but for my team and for my students, or for maybe even you, right? And you're just getting a refresher here. So some of the biggest names, like literally out there, have suggested my trainings to their audiences, or referred to me as the expert on the subject of digital publishing and Kindle publishing, including people like Les Brown, the late Bob Proctor, who's down here, the star of The Secret. He was one of the stars of the movie The Secret, right? If you haven't read it, the book, or listened to the audio, it's a life-changing book. Robert Kiyosaki, author of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, who many of you have had the pleasure of reading. And again, Les Brown, right, who I've had the pleasure of writing the foreword for my book, Kindle Publishing Secrets, right? Which of these gentlemen do you know? Any of them at all? Put it in the chat box. So let's jump into this. How do you find time, number one? How do you find time, right? And then once you have the time, where do you actually start? Like, there could be so many different moving points to this thing. How do you actually get started, right? And then the most impactful first steps to take, right? So we're going to cover this, and I'm actually going to move my board a little bit closer because I know the circle down here is a little bit small. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the time, right? Because this is the thing right here where if we don't have the time, it's hard to accomplish anything, let alone be super successful at it, right? So we're going to cover that, right? And I'm going to do this in a short period of time, right? So is that okay? So now, as I give you this stuff, I want you to think about this. Oftentimes, when we attend events like this, we try to take everything in, right? We're taking notes down for everything, and that's fine. You should be paying attention. You should be taking notes. But I really want you to focus on, out of everything that I give you, what's the one thing, right? One thing that's going to be your biggest takeaway. Right? What's one thing that if you immediately go in and apply it, whether it's tonight or whether it's tomorrow, whether it's this week, it will move the needle for you. It will help you to get results. That's my game, right? What's that one thing? And I'm going to ask you at the end of this, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to say, hey, look, what's your one thing? I might even call you out at that point, right? This entire presentation, what's your one thing? Or maybe I won't call you out, right? I don't want to put anyone on magnified here. So finding the time to get started, right? This is going to be the key thing. Finding the time to get started, to create your content, and to publish it. Whether you're publishing it on Amazon, you're publishing it to your own platform, whether you're using like our AMS automatic marketing system, right? Finding the time to really do any of this stuff is going to be the key. Now, what I find is our most successful students have a tendency to find a consistent time to write, a consistent time to work on your business if you're not a writer, a consistent time to go in and look into having your content created if you're not writing it yourself, right? Even when you have a hectic life. There's a period where all four of our children, if you guys know me, you know that I have four children, but all four of them were young, right? 4, 5, 7, 8, not right. And they're all young and they're going to daycare and they're doing this. And my mom was older. So I'm helping my wife to take care of all four kids, as well as to help take care of my mom, who later became sick, right? So I understand. And then trying to take care of myself, trying to take care of time to have time with my wife, trying to have personal time, trying to run multiple businesses, trying to manage my team, right? Because I've got employees as well. So I understand having a hectic life. But what I do understand is that if you take a day and you make sure that you schedule things within that day, no matter how hectic it is, and you work on your discipline to make sure that you follow through, you'll start to see results, right? You'll start to see results. So I'm going to give you a couple of exercises. So exercise number one, finding the time. So we want to do this. The first thing is we want to take a time inventory. So I want you to list out your typical daily activities. Like, you don't have to do this right now, right? But I want you to make a note to do this, or you can take a screenshot of this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you guys some prompts. So get ready to take some screenshots in a few minutes from now, right? But time inventory. List out what you do typically, activity-wise. If it's work, right, you're going to go in and we're kind of doing what's known as a time study. So Monday through Friday, what's your day look like, right? If I go to work at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., you're going to put 8 a.m. to whatever that might be. So let's start your typical daily activities to identify potential time slots. So here, let me grab my eraser. And I apologize in advance because I know some of you guys won't be able to see this because it's going to be so small, right? But if I'm doing a time study, then I'm going to put, let's say if I get up at 8 a.m., then I'll put 8 a.m. here, then I'm going to put breakfast. And you got to be totally honest with yourself, right? And then it might be, 8:50. You want to do this in 15-minute increments. 8:15, right? I'm off to take my shower. You say you take a shower for, I don't know, it takes you 30 minutes or so to get dressed. 8:45, right? So shower 8:15. That's 30 minutes. Now it's 8:45, right? Now you're heading out the door to go to work or whatever time that takes you. And now you got to do this for your entire day, every single day, Monday through Sunday, right? In 15-minute increments. It's a time study. So you can go and you can get yourself a notebook like this and put it in, or you can get some sheeted paper if you want, lined paper, right? And then what you're doing is you're looking for at least one 15-minute block of availability. One 15-minute block. That's all you need. And if you don't even have 15 minutes, 5 minutes, all right? So keep that there. So you're going to do your writing, and I call this micro writing. For those of you that are writers, I'm going to get to you who are not writers in just a minute. So 15 minutes a day, you're going to contribute to writing. 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day can add up, right? So you can use your lunch break. You can do this before bed. Remember when I said all four of our kids were super young and we were always busy with them going to school and PTA meetings and soccer practices and ballet and dentist appointments and urgent care visits. 15 minutes. So in between, while I'm at practice, I would do this. When my mom was sick and she was in the hospital, while I'm there sitting with her, I would do this. 15 minutes. All right. So you're looking for 15-minute spots in your day where you can contribute to writing if you're a writer. Now, if you're not a writer, right, or if you are not creating your own content, in these 15 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to go in, you're going to work on your business. And you're going to do some of the other things that I'm going to share with you in just a minute. So can we all contribute? Can we say, look, I'm going to find a 15-minute spot in my day. Put a 15 in the chat box or in the comments box, regardless, wherever you're watching this. If you can commit to 15 minutes a day, put a 15 in there. All right, 15s are coming in. Look, if you can't commit to finding 15 minutes, I generally, throughout the day, I could not commit to finding a 15-minute break throughout my day of activities initially. So what I did was, I said, Ty, okay, you need to wake up a half hour early. Or you need to go to sleep a half hour later. So to wake up a half hour earlier, and you're saying, Ty, hey, it's 15 minutes. Why are you waking up a half hour earlier? Because I knew I would need at least 5, 10, 15 minutes to really sit down and to get in the zone. Does that make sense? Right? It's that time to get there. That travel time. Right? So if you don't have 15 minutes, if you're like how I was when the family was buzzing and everything, right? Get up 15 minutes or a half hour earlier or stay up a half hour later. You got to do this, guys. There's no excuses. Now, I want you to be careful with your health, total disclaimer, right? But you got to find it somewhere, right? Now, the other thing is calendar blocking, right? So you schedule this stuff in and you're super disciplined with it. You make it a priority. It's not enough just to go in and write it on your calendar. It has to become a priority. It's not enough just to find the 15 minutes. You have to put it on your calendar. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box. Give me a yes if that makes sense. All right. So not only do you go in and you take you find the 15 minutes at a minimum, but you put it on your calendar every single day. And it may not be the same time for you every single day. It may be in the morning one day. It may be in the afternoon one day. You don't take off weekends. You don't take off a Saturday. You don't take off a Sunday. You don't take off a holiday. You don't take off your birthday. Every single day, 15 minutes, and you'll see how much that adds up. All right? If you do that for an entire month, a 30-day period, that's 450 minutes right there. Right? Let's do a little bit of quick math here. 400, who's going to do some math with me? 450 minutes, right? How many hours is that? So if we go to my calculator here, and I do 450 divided by 60, that's 7.5 hours. Do you think there's a lot that you can get done in 7.5 hours there? Absolutely. Right? So you're going to take inventory of your time. You're going to commit to these 15-minute micro sessions, right? And it could be writing, it could be something else, right? It's everything that's going to be moving you towards where you need to be. And it's calendar blocking, it's scheduling it on your calendar, right? Now, here's something that's low risk, high ease. Start small and build up your writing habit, right? Don't set huge expectations for you. This 15 minutes that you're going to go in and commit to, right? You're not going to be the perfectionist. You're just getting out there and you're getting in the zone. You're getting used to the habit of writing. If you're not writing, if you're building out your businesses, maybe you're in one of our other programs, right? You're getting used to going through the program in that 15 minutes. You're getting used to implementing and doing something that we're teaching you in that 15 minutes. And for some of you, it might be, a half hour. Some of you, it might be an hour, right? What you're doing here is you're becoming the person that commits and that sticks to their commitments. You get it? All right. So now, here's how I want to get you an immediate win, right? I want to get you a win. So today, and I want it to be preferably immediately after this presentation here, right? You're going to set a timer for 15 minutes and you're going to write. If you're the writer, if you're not someone who's a writer, then you're going to go through one of our programs, or you're going to do some of the other things that I'm going to give you within the next couple of minutes. You're going to set a timer. You go on your phone. If you got an Apple, an iPhone, you go simply set a timer. If you see, I've got my 35-minute timer, 30-minute timer up here. I do this stuff myself, guys, right? And then you're going to commit. That's it, 15 minutes. You'll see how fast it goes by. And you'll see also that as you do this more and more, all right, you'll get used to it. Exercise number 2. This is just getting started. So now that we figured out how do we carve out time in our busy life, right, our busy day, now what do we do at that time is we have to actually get started, all right? So here's your action plan. So once you have clarity and you have direction, it helps you to become to get rid of the overwhelm. Helps you to become so much clearer so that now you're not wondering and worrying about all the different things that are out there, all the different parts, all the different moving pieces, right? So there's 3 steps to this. The first step is you start to brainstorm book ideas. So if you're someone who doesn't know, right, what you want to publish or what type of a course or program you want to put out there, you want to start brainstorming book ideas. And the easiest ways to do this is, like, we've all had these things that we've gone through at some point in our life, right? And if you haven't, maybe you're not old enough yet, right? So what are some of the stories inside of you? What are some of the things that you liked as a child? What are some of the things that you might have experienced in your life, right? What are some of the things you've learned to cope with? I talked about my mom having her journey of going through colon cancer and ultimately passing from that, right? So for my example, it could be a story that helps other people who are currently caregivers right now to help caregivers cope, right? I love sci-fi. I could go into publishing sci-fi, right? If you love romance, you can go into what are your favorite types of stories? What topics excite you? What problems have you solved? Right? For me, solving the problem of finding time during a super busy life could be something that I can go in and create content around, right? It could be the productivity book for super busy people. What unique experiences have you had? So I want you to think about all of these things, and these are going to be the book ideas. Now, it doesn't stop there. You don't just think about it and say, okay, well, I got my book idea. This is what I'm going to do, right? The next step is we now need to validate your idea and to make sure that it's something that, will actually possibly sell well, right? And we can't guarantee if it's going to sell. So that's why I throw the possibly out there, right? There's no magic wand. We're all adults here. But what do we do to validate, to increase the chances that we can do well with this thing? Well, we go over to Amazon. Easiest way to do this is why I'm giving you Amazon, because you can do this in your 15 minutes. If you're not going to go and write, you can do this stuff. You can validate your idea in that 15 minutes. You can go and come up with your ideas in 15 minutes. So you can go back here to step 1, where you're brainstorming ideas, and you can write them all out. You should write at least 20 ideas out. If you don't have 20, you don't have enough. And then you go over to Amazon and you validate them. You look for books that are similar to your idea, right? You check their sales ranking. And if their Amazon sales ranking, their BSR ranking is 25,000 or less, then that's a book that's selling pretty rapidly. I don't have time to show you here how do you go in and look up the BSR, but at KCF Live, Kindle Cash Flow Live, which is coming up, we'll show you that, and I'll go into a lot of detail, right? So remember that the lower the BSR, the lower the bestsellers rank, yes, lower, not higher, the lower the number it is, the better it sells. Then you can also go in and you can look at reviews that are that books that are similar to what you're considering publishing have, right? You look at the overall possibility of the chances of this book being something popular, because there's other books in your genre that are super popular, right? And I think the mistake that you don't want to make is thinking that there's a lot of other books like mine that are out there, or like my idea. So there's a lot of competition. That's good. So that means that if there's a lot of competition, there's also a lot of other buyers. There's buyers that are out there, right? So I love competition because that means that there's buyers, right? Now, if you go in and you've come up here and you've got these ideas, right? And then you go to validate them, and there's no other books that are similar to what you're considering publishing, or no other courses that are out there. If you're using like Udemy, you can also use udemy.com to go in and do this if you're a course creator. udemy.com, udemy.com. But if you don't find anything else that's out there, then look, you're not Steve Jobs, you're not Apple. You can't go in and create something and make people realize that they need it. So you want something that has competition. The other thing is you can go in, you explore relevant categories on Amazon. So if you're writing a mystery book, if you're thinking about publishing a thriller and suspense, right? Then go into those categories and look and see what's out there that's similar. Look at some of the subgenres, right? Look and see if there's anything similar. If you're creating like a nonfiction book, self-help, right, or personal development, go in and look and see if there's anything similar. You don't want to be the first person to publish something that's that there's nothing else out there like. Does that make sense? Give me a yes if that makes sense. Let me know, right? Let me know if that makes sense. You do not want to be the only person that's publishing the type of content that you're considering publishing. You want competition, because if there's lots of competition, that means what? That there's lots of buyers, right? So you want to see which categories have like the most bestsellers and which subgenres are trending. And again, I'll go into more detail at KCF Live and I'll show you how to do this, okay? So now personal validation. This is the other way that you validate it. And this works with both fiction and nonfiction. Like, is this something that you really like and that you enjoy? Because there's got to be times, look, when it gets hard and you have to enjoy it because that's going to push you through. There's going to be times when you doubt yourself. There's going to be times when you have this imposter syndrome, right? There's going to be times when you feel like self-sabotaging yourself. And you have to have a love, or at least a like. It doesn't have to be this heavy love, but you have to at least like the thing that you're going to be publishing. Okay? So if you at least like it, then it gives you more of a chance. And then the other thing is commitment. Are you willing to put in the time and the effort required to write or create, if you're not writing it yourself, right? If you're using like a ghostwriter or something, to publish and to promote your book or your course, right? So thinking about that as well, right? So now, based on your research, as we go over to Amazon and we start to look at all the different categories, then you come back and you say, okay, is there a market for my book? Or if you're creating a digital course, right? You're on Udemy. Is there a market for this course on Udemy? Yes or no? Is it a check or is it an X? Check or is it an X, right? And then are you excited to go out and create it or write it or publish it or market it, right? So thinking about that. And then step 3 is you create your simple outline, right? So create a simple outline, and that's your main point. And I'm going to give you guys, get ready to take a screenshot because I'm going to give you guys a couple of prompts, whether you're publishing fiction or nonfiction. So I'm going to give you 2 prompts. And I'm going to have to move really quickly. So I want everyone to get ready to take a screenshot because I won't have time. I won't be able to go back. All right. So creating a simple outline. All right. So now that you have the time, you're dedicating 15 minutes a day. Now that you know where to get started as far as validating everything, right? And now getting started by creating your action plan. And your first piece of that action plan is creating your outline. And again, it's not going to be elaborate. Do not overcomplicate this thing. All right? It's going to be a simple outline. Your main points, your chapters, all right? You don't have to be perfect with this thing. So I'm going to give you the prompts here. So this is, if you're going in and you're publishing fiction content, this is going to be your fiction book outline prompt. So take a screenshot of this thing here, all right? And this says scenes over here. I know the bubble was in the way. So additional notes, right? So it says character arcs or specific scenes you're excited about. So in this thing, you're going to have your fiction outline prompt. This is it, right? So you'll go into ChatGPT, or you can go into Gemini, which I really love using, right? And it doesn't matter if you're using the free version or the paid version. And you'll put, please create an outline for my fiction novel. Here's some information to get you started, right? You're going to give it a working title. Now, if you don't have a working title, then this is what you're going to use your 15 minutes for, right? To come up with your working title. And then genre. So now you've done your research, right? So in our previous step, we went in, we did our research, so we know what genre you're in, right? And if you don't know your genre, you spend one of your 15-minute slots figuring out your genre, right? So you're going to enter your genre there. And then your log line. This is your one-sentence summary, right? So you'll create that. And again, this is what you do in one of those 15-minute segments. And you do this stuff all in order. Don't jump out of order. You do what needs to be done. Remember I talked about discipline? That's doing what needs to be done, not what's just fun, not what you just enjoy. So you work on it in this order, and trust me, it will feel incredible once you're done with all of this stuff. Then you work on your premise, right? You work on your protagonist, your characters, right? Your antagonists and everything else. And then you fill this all out. You go over to ChatGPT, you throw this plot in here, and ChatGPT will give you an incredible outline. Or if you're using Gemini, right? Google Gemini, it'll give you an incredible outline. Now, for those of you that are publishing nonfiction, here's the outline that here's the prompt that you're going to use here. All right, so it's please create an outline for my nonfiction book. Here's some information to get you started. So same thing. You fill these things out. Now, you may not be able to get all of this done. You may not have all of this, or you may already have it. Maybe you've got a book already and you need to refine it, right? Or maybe you don't. This is where your 15 minutes. So everything I'm giving you now, it is up to you to not deviate. I'm giving you the exact layout, the exact plan, step by step by step, as I've shared with you in this video here. Now, if you break this, meaning you go out of order, that's on you. All right? So take a picture of this prompt here. And this says additional notes, and this says questions you wanted to address. All right, so take a picture of this one, and I'll go back to this one really quickly. But again, all right, I need you guys to take a quick screenshot. I'm going to do a quick countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'll do the same thing here. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So now, look, the next thing is all of these could be done in one sitting. So for those of you who have more than 15 minutes, you got an hour, boom, you can knock all of this stuff out. You go in, you get yourself a bottle of water, you get your drink, you put it on your desk, and you say, I'm not moving. You go sit in the car. This is what I used to do when I had a family, right? And there's always buzz. I used to have to go sit in the driveway or sit in my car sometimes so the kids don't come out and ask me to play with them or ask me to throw a ball with them, or my wife comes out and asks me to do something on the honey-do list or whatever. And I would go out there for these 10 minutes where it's total silence, right? And I'm using every second. You have to use every second of your 15 minutes. And if you're not, you're wasting it, right? So this is how serious people move forward. Exercise number 3, increasing your chances of success. So now once you've got it published in that KCF Live, we're going to show you how do you take an idea that's in your head, or that's in a manuscript, or that's on your computer, or that's in a notebook somewhere, and you actually get it published and you increase your chances of success. Now here's some of the things that we're going to show you. So understanding the factors that can increase your chances at making money with Kindle publishing. Now, this is not a guarantee. Again, we're adults, right? But these are things that can possibly increase your chances. Having quality content. So you'll always hear us in the KCF community talk about the importance of quality content. This is going to be one of the biggest things, because if you have quality, what's going to happen is someone will come in and they'll buy how many, and let me know if you've ever done this. They'll buy something from you, and if they love it, guess what's going to happen next? And you guys have done this with me, right? You'll buy something from your favorite author or maybe your favorite course creator, right? And then if you enjoy it, you got value out of it, you got more out of it than what you paid, then you're looking forward to buying the next thing, right? How many people have done that with me? Give me a yes in the chat box, or give me a yes if you've done that with anyone, right? Your favorite author before, or someone else, right? Your favorite store, maybe your favorite clothing manufacturer, right? And then the other thing is, and I'm going to really talk about these at KCF Live because this is so important, right? Having a catchy title, doubling down on having a catchy title. Do not skimp here. This is one of the most important steps of making sure that you increase, or at least, give yourself a little bit more of a possibility that you increase your chance at making money with Kindle publishing. Then along with that, also having an eye-catching cover. And then marketing and promotion, which a lot of you need to get really good at. You need to understand this. We're going to talk about this at KCF Live. I actually have a specialist that's going to come in and talk about marketing and promotion at KCF Live. All right. And if you're not sure of what KCF Live is, it's the world's most loved. This is my opinion. I'm calling it the world's most loved 3-day virtual event. It's on Zoom, just like this, but we got a ton of people that joins us from all over the place. And we've got speakers and guests and experts that come in. It's a virtual event where we just show you what's working for us and what's working in the Kindle publishing and the digital publishing space, right? So marketing, promotion, you double down on that. And then multiples. Think about this. Your favorite author, your favorite course creator, do they have just one book? Do they have just one course? Yes or no? Right? Most of those individuals that are super successful, they have multiples. They have more than one. And the reason why they have more than one is because of this right here. When someone comes in and they buy, the easiest person to resell is someone that's already bought from you, because they already know, like, and trust you. For many of you, that's why you're here on this training right here. You already know me. You already like me. You already trust me. Hopefully you like me, right? Maybe you've purchased something from me before. Maybe you've purchased multiple things from me before. So now you don't have to go in and vet me, right? So your buyers, they don't have to vet you. So now, and they actually want more. And if you're not giving them more, you're doing a disservice to them. Because there's someone else out there that's going to sell them an ebook, that's going to sell them a course, that's going to sell them a Kindle book, that's going to sell them an audio book that's not as good as yours. So it's actually your duty to make sure that you get to that person first. Does that make sense? Give me a yes in the chat box if that makes sense. It's actually your duty, because of this right here, you publishing high quality content and now wanting to have multiple so that that person can go back and buy from you instead of buying from someone who's just trying to get money out of someone. Let me know if that makes sense in the chat box. You got to reframe your thinking. The late Wayne Dyer used to say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Instead of being ashamed of selling and instead of being ashamed of marketing, you say, look, I have this thing, but I know that it's good. It's my duty to make sure that I put it in front of as many people as possible. All right? So this is what I gave you. So I showed you how to find time, all right? 15 minutes a day at least. And we're committing to it every single day, 30 days a month. Don't bow out of this thing. Your mind's going to tell you, look, you're not going to be able to do this for 30 days. Have you guys ever heard of the saying, shoot for the moon? Because even if you miss, you'll land on the stars. So still go in. Even if you think that you won't be able to be consistent with this, still go in and say, I'm going to do this every single day, right? Every single day for 30 days until I develop this habit. And even if I don't do it every day, at least I've done it more than I have been doing it before. Does that make sense? Give me a yes in the chat box if that makes sense. The second thing that I gave you is getting started, like creating your action plan. I still got more stuff for you, so don't bail out on me yet. So getting started, creating your action plan, right? What are the things that you're going to do in these 15-minute blocks? And I give you a ton of things that you could do. A ton of things, right? And then the third thing is, how do you increase your chance of success? How do you increase your chance of success? And I gave you 5 things that you can do to increase your chances of success, right? So now I want to go into even more detail and increase your chances of success even more so, right? So Kindle Castle Live, we want to see who here has their ticket to Kindle Castle Live already. Put KCF in the chat box if you have your ticket to KCF Live, or in the comments box if you're watching. Hopefully I'm going to share this video on social media as well. So put, I'm going to KCF Live. Just put it in the chat box. I want to see who's going right now. All right, I see it. I see it. Cool. I'm going to KCF Live. Put it in the chat box. I'm going to KCF Live. Put it in the comments box if you're watching this on social media somewhere after the fact, right? I'm going to KCF Live. All right, very, very cool. Right, lots of people going to KCF Live, which is, look, this is a big benefit for you guys. If you don't have your ticket yet, now if you already have your ticket, then that's fine. But if you don't have your ticket yet, I want you to go over and get a platinum ticket. It's going to be so worth it because you're going to get the recordings, right? You're going to get 3 days worth of recordings. Not only that, but this is an event where you get to hang out with a digital community. You get to hang out and meet like-minded individuals. You get to, see people that are just starting out where you're starting out. You get to see people who have started out, who've been there where you are right now. And now you get to see the level of success that they're at, right? Which is a very inspiring thing. You get to learn from some of the best and the best, right? You get to get these frameworks that will help you with marketing, that will help you with publishing, that will help you with writing, that will help you. We'll talk about how to use AI. We'll talk about how do you go in and actually find out what genres you should publish to, right? So I want to give you guys, for sticking with me, a 25% discount on a platinum ticket. It only works on a platinum ticket. You're going to go over to kcflive.com. So kcflive.com. Don't get this confused with KFC. All right. So kcflive.com. All right. I know some of you guys are hungry. So kcflive.com. And then you're going to go in and you're going to select the platinum ticket. Look at all of the incredible bonuses this thing comes with. As of right now, I think there's over, and we're always adding new bonuses to it, but there's something like over, don't even hold me to it, but there's tons of bonuses in this thing. Stuff that you can actually, real value, not junk value. Like you can actually go buy these bonuses individually if you wanted to. We actually show you the links where you can go and you can buy them if you wanted to. All right. But you're going to save 25% off of a platinum ticket. There are 20 discounts. Initially, there were 20 available. There's not 20 now. There's less now. If you get to a point where you go into the shopping cart and you add the code HAPPY, doesn't matter if it's capital or lowercase, and the discount does not apply, that means that we're out. Like all of the 20 discounts that we've given are no longer available. But even with that, it's still a value at the price that you're going to get in, all right? Because of everything that you're going to get, as you'll see. All right? So make sure you go over to KCF Live. And that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. I want to share something else with you guys here. Get your ticket. This is the URL, kcflive.com, right? kcflive.com is where you're going to go. And that's going to help you to go in and get started right now. We'll see you at KCF Live. Trust me, this is going to be an event. Most people that come to KCF Live, we have more people that come to their first KCF Live that then come to their second one, and then their third, and then their fourth. If you've ever been to KCF Live, put it in the chat box or the comments box which number this is for you. Is it your first one, your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, your seventh, your eighth? Right? Put it in the chat box and let us know. Right? Because what happens is once you come in, you're hooked. You see the value and you're like, oh my God, how are they doing all of this for such a cheap price? And the reason why is because we want to give back. We want to see you successful, and it helps when we see our students come in and people that had no clue as to how to get going. They have value and they are able to start to push the needle and do things that they thought were impossible at one point. So use that discount code HAPPY, save 25% off of a platinum ticket by going to kcflive.com. All right. And then last but not least, be sure to join us in a Facebook group. We've got a lot of cool things that happen in the Facebook group. So if you're not part of a Facebook group, this is a free group with me, a lot of my coaches, a lot of my team members, a lot of our students, and nearly over 20,000 other digital publishers. I think we're just a few thousand short of having 20,000 people in this thing. And you can go in and you can simply go to kindlecashflow.com/FB. And remember, I said I want you to come away from this presentation with one takeaway. Go into this Facebook group and let us know what your one biggest takeaway has been. What's that one thing that you got out of this, right? Make sure you get your ticket at KCF Live first, right? Because I hate for you to miss out on your chance of getting that discount with using Happy as your discount code and saving that 25% off. And then after that, then come into the Facebook group, let us know, request access. It'll take a few minutes, and sometimes it might take a day or so, or half a day, a couple of hours for us to let you in if you're not in already. If you are part of a Facebook group, if you go directly to this link, it will take you straight into the group, kindlecashflow.com/FB. And if someone could put that into the chat box or the comments box, that would be fine. And if someone could put KCF Live, www, you got to put the www dot in order for the link to be active, clickable, right? Into the chat box or the comments box as well. That would help, right? So go in and post your biggest takeaway. So you simply phrase it as my biggest takeaway from the training with Ty today was ... Whatever your biggest takeaway from the training today was, put that in the Facebook group. My biggest takeaway from the training with Ty today was, it's carving out 15 minutes a day. That could have been it. It's being consistent with my writing it, or working on my business every single day. That could have been it, right? It's validating my idea. That could have been it. And here's how I went in and I'm doing this, right? So go in and do that. And I look forward to seeing you guys at KCF Live. We'll see you soon. Go into the Facebook group. Make sure you go get your ticket. All right. Stay well.